What's up, guys? It's Cody. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about something that nobody seems to understand when it comes to money. Right now, there's a huge wealth divide in the United States and across the world, and people are not realizing why that's actually happening. You know, as we come out of this pandemic, there's been a lot of people wondering, hey, why do the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer? Well, you know, when it comes to the economy, the people who own assets are the ones who benefit from the economy moving forward. So if you own assets like stocks, real estate, gold could be argued, land, these are the types of things that, these are the properties, these are the assets that people are going to benefit from when the economy moves forward. So I want to jump into my computer here and show you a little bit, a little graph here. To kind of very easily visualize what I'm talking about here. This is something that's super crucial that nobody really seems to understand. So I've got my trusty paintbrush here. We're just going to come in here. Let me make this a little bit bigger so it's easy to see. So this is we're going to have a little timeline across the bottom here. This is going to be time. I'm doing this with a mouse, so you're going to have to forgive me on my beautiful handwriting here. That's a little bit big. Let's just shrink that down just a little bit. So you've got time here. Time runs along the bottom, right? Now, what I want to do over here is I want to do, basically draw a path like this. And excuse the little bumps in here. Like I said, I'm on a mouse, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for us. But what I want to talk about here is this side is going to be negative, and this side is positive. So when you're over here, and let's say that you start here at 0. This is 0. So you're starting at 0, right? You get out of high school and you go to college, or you start your first job, and you know, maybe your net worth moves in the negative direction or it moves in the positive direction. And the reason why this actually goes up exponentially on both sides is because of interest. Now, if you are paying interest, the more debt that you have, the more interest that you're going to have to pay on that debt overall. And also, unfortunately, usually the higher that interest rate is, right? So over here on the very low end here, let's say you go to college and you've got, you go to be a doctor. Well, you're going to have tons of student debt, at least most people will, unless mom and dad pay for it. So you're going to be over here and you're going to have tons of debt, right? And now you might have a a lot of student loans you got to pay off, and you might have a high income, but you have to work your way back out of this debt just to get back to 0, right? This is a 0 net worth. But over time, you're going to increase your income and you're going to increase your assets, hopefully, and you're going to continue to climb up this path over here where you can then have a future income and you can have assets that grow exponentially as well. Now, I think a lot of people are kind of right here in this little path right here. I'm just going to draw this here. A lot of people are over here and they're realizing, hey, I'm looking at these billionaires who are up here in this range over here. Why did they keep getting richer when I'm over here struggling just to make ends meet, just to try and get ahead, right? Well, it's because you haven't hit this exponential curve yet, right? Because when you get interest on your assets, right, as you get appreciation or you get an interest, you're earning the interest, because you've lent the money out or you bought a company who is now increasing in value, you are going to be earning a higher amount the more that you have invested, right? If you've got $1,000 and you go out there and invest it and you make 10%, okay, great. You just made $100 on your $1,000. But now let's say you've got $100,000. Well, if you earn 10%, that comes out to $10,000 of a return. Now, assuming you've got $1 million, right? You've saved up for a long time, you've made a high income, and you got yourself to a point where you've now earned $1 million. Well, you're going to be in this spot where if you go out there and earn 10%, you just earned $100,000 on your investment, right? If we had $100,000, we're only earning 10% at $10,000, right? So if you have $1 million, you can literally earn 6 figures just in interest for basically doing nothing. Now, look at this again and realize, what if you have 10 million or 100 million or billions of dollars like these billionaires out there, right? It can get a little bit ridiculous when you actually look at it this way. And it's not always streamlined, right? There's going to be some bumps along the way, but this is just something that a lot of people seem to miss when it comes to learning about interest rates and learning about money overall. A lot of people forget that, hey, when you've got debt, you're going to be held back over here because you're paying the interest. But luckily, as you pay that interest down, you get closer and closer to this zero net worth level, where your net worth is now zero and you're kind of at the bottom, right? You're not in the negative, so that's good, but you're just at zero. You don't really maybe have any assets to grow. Maybe you do, but you paid off, most of your debt, and you can continue, or you can start building a positive net worth. Now, the thing you've got to realize is that even if you have a negative net worth, or if you have debt, I should say, you can still have a positive net worth. So it's not necessarily debt that is the issue here. So I'm going to go ahead and just cross that off. It's not debt that's a real problem here. The real problem is that you need to get back to zero first. You need to get back to zero first, and so that you can start building up on this path. And you need to realize that the quicker you can get on this path here and start building your way up, the faster it's going to go up exponentially, just like this. So when you're building and you're getting started, if you only have $1,000 to invest, it's going to be pretty hard, to make a return and have it be any significant amount, right? If you got $1,000, you go out there and earn 10%, you just made $100. Well, I think for most of us, we could have just went to work for the day and made $100. So it doesn't really make all that much sense. But you have to realize that as you save up, as you get that $1,000, and that turns into $2,000, and then into $4,000, and then $8,000, and then $12,000, and then as that number continues to go, and you get up to $100,000, and then you get up to $1 million, right? That's kind of like the end goal, I think, for a lot of people. Once you get up to $1 million, it becomes much easier to earn money from your investments or from your assets. So you need to get up on this train as quickly as possible, so that your net worth can continue to go up. Just like it would here on this graph. So guys, I hope that video was helpful for you. This is just a quick overall view on some things that people miss about money and don't understand. And I think if you understand this one concept, it will give you the ability to kind of take a step back, realize where things are at, and realize what you need to do to be able to get ahead in life and continue building your assets. And just know that, hey, even though things might seem slow when you're just getting started out, as long as we continue to push forward and just keep building up, keep putting a little bit of money aside, keep buying real estate properties, whatever it is that we need to do, as long as you keep doing that, you will get to the point where you eventually realize, hey, this is a little bit easier than I thought it was, and now I'm earning more from my investments than I am from my day job, and that's the best time, because that's the time you can really look at it and say, I've got financial freedom now, I can do what I want, and money is no longer an issue for me. So guys, I hope this was helpful for you. If it was, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.